Did you miss our absolutely free workshop on the Shopify Backend? Well, let's make sure you get some of the information today, but we're also going to give you access to access it on demand now. The Business of Apparel Podcast is your one-stop shop to learn how to launch, grow, and scale your apparel brand. I'm your host, Rachel Erickson. Now let's jump in. Welcome back to the Business of Apparel Podcast, where today I'm going to do a little bit of a recap for you just in case you missed our Shopify Backend cheat code workshop, because it was a doozy. We learned a lot in this workshop. We went through all kinds of backend information. I did a demo in Shopify of how you can find all the different spaces that you need to be filling out, how to fill it out, what to do. We even referenced back to an old podcast episode. So if you haven't listened to the one on the anatomy of a great product page, go back and listen to that podcast episode as well, because we touched on it in the workshop and it ended up being incredibly helpful to all of the people who did come. Now, if you were there, hello, it was so good to see you. Thank you for those of you who showed up live. And even if you just watched the replay afterwards, hopefully you got a ton out of this workshop. Now, a few things that we covered that I want to make sure that you're getting the information on still, even if you didn't get a chance to show up, is all about how you are structuring your data. Okay, so we're going to talk about the top 3 things here, and then we're going to talk about a couple of other things that I want you to pay attention to. So overall, we're going to talk about the top 5 things that I want you to pay attention to in your back end, whether you're using Shopify or a different e-commerce website, or whether you are just tracking stuff in Excel right now. All of this is still really important. Okay, number 1. We talked about smart style numbers. Now, when you are building an apparel brand, you're probably going to find yourself having to manage 3 different numbers for any one garment. And the first number that we're going to talk about is style numbers. Now, this is typically a number that is internally used. You use it mostly with your manufacturer or with your factory. And if you're using smart style numbers inside your brand, when you read that number, you're going to be able to know exactly what type of product you are talking about or looking at. If someone emails you the number 1U1147, what does that mean? Well, let's break it down. This is a number that I've actually used in my past at Corporate World. The 1 indicated that it was a women's garment. Now, if it was a men's garment, it would have been a 2 at the beginning. If it was a youth garment or a kid's garment, it would have been a 3 at the beginning, right? So 1 automatically tells me I'm looking at a women's product. The U stood for the category. So I used to work in the outerwear department. The U meant outerwear. So if we saw anything, we came across a tech pack, we were looking at an email, there was internal communications, and there was a U as the second digit in that smart style number, we knew we were talking about an outerwear product. So now we're talking about a women's outerwear product. That third digit, being a 1 again, meant the season that we were talking about. And the way that we handled it was a 1 meant that we were talking about spring, a 2 meant that we were talking about summer, a 3 meant that we were talking about fall, and a 4 meant that we were talking about the winter development season. So a 1 being there meant I was now talking about a women's outerwear piece that we're developing for spring. Okay. Next is the year. So after the U came 114. Now, I've been in this industry for a long time, and yes, I was developing women's outerwear for spring 2014, and that's what that number comes from. So 14 then indicates the actual year that we are talking about. So spring 2014. Last is the digit of the number. Now, we talked about this a little bit in the workshop where we said we weren't managing that many styles at this company. So I was kind of in my little box. We only had a very small assortment for each person to be managing. So knowing that I was managing women's outerwear for spring 2014, I only had up to 9 styles to have to manage. So that last digit being a 7 basically meant it was the 7th style on the list for that season. Now, if I'm developing up to 99 styles for a season, and hopefully you're not, hopefully you're doing way, way less than that. But if you are, you could add a 2-digit code after that. So it could have been 07. Or if you're doing way, way more, you can always add a 3-digit code, but that starts to get really messy. Now, you could do something as simple as this is S27-001, meaning this is the first style that we're developing for spring 27. Now I have S27-002. That is honestly also a great way to list your style numbers internally, as long as you know and you're okay with that number not really indicating much to you other than the fact that it's being developed for spring 27. Now you can memorize these numbers. You can still share these numbers with your factory. I guarantee you they will know what the numbers are because they're going to look at that before they ever look at a product name. They're always going to look at the style number. But if you need a little bit of help being able to see and memorize and understand your style numbers, that is a great way to do it. Now, number 2, this goes hand in hand with smart naming practices. We've talked about naming before. I believe that naming a product in the apparel industry is one of the hardest things that you can do because you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into like a really small box when you're just starting your brand, right? You don't want to say, this is Rachel's sweater. I'm putting it out into the world. What happens when 2 years from now you have Rachel's V-neck sweater, you have Rachel's crew neck sweater? How am I differentiating those from what I originally launched? I didn't leave any space in that original name to describe the product to my customer, number one. And I also didn't leave space for me to be able to grow and expand over time. So when you're thinking about smart naming, you might want to use like a unique identifier. Like when I was working at Fossil, we used men's names and women's names to help indicate the unique identifier for that key product. So we had like the Lucy dress. And then we would add additional adjectives, right? So the Lucy dress maybe came in silk. It also came in cotton. And we really wanted to portray those words out into the world and let our customer know what they were made of because we were really proud of a lot of the different fabrications that we were offering, right? So now we've got the Lucy cotton dress, the Lucy silk dress. And then above and beyond that, we also added like the styling of it. So now we've got the Lucy cotton A-line dress. And of course, dress is also in there too, so that we know what kind of a product it is, right? We don't want to just have the Lucy cotton A-line. The Lucy cotton A-line what? Like, what are we selling here? Is it a skirt? Is it a dress? Is it a top that's maybe designed to be A-line? Is it shorts that's meant to be A-line? So you want to then add your product name in it too. Now, doing this allows you to expand really easily. Now I can also have the Lucy silk A-line dress. I can have the Claire cotton A-line dress. I can have all different kinds of iterations of this. It allows me a lot of room and a lot of space. So you want to create a standardized way of naming, similar to the way that you do your numbers. You've put in the hours, you've mastered the fundamentals, and your brand is no longer a passion project. But somewhere along the way, the hustle that got you here started to feel like a trap. You're building a business, not just making clothes, and you're starting to wonder if you'll ever crack the code to consistent, profitable growth. What if I told you that industry's top brands aren't just working harder, they're working smarter, with a clear blueprint for everything from line planning to streamlining their supply chain? This is the insider knowledge that's typically kept behind closed doors, but now it's accessible to you. Introducing The Board, an annual membership designed to give you that strategic advantage. Led by a team with over 70 years of combined experience, we provide the honest, real talk mentorship you need to move from busy to truly successful. We'll show you how to focus on the small, consistent actions that lead to massive progress, helping you build a legacy without the burnout. It's time to stop second-guessing yourself and start building with purpose. Don't pay attention to the chaos. Pay attention to what actually matters. Join the board and unlock the proven systems that will transform your brand. Go to thebusinessofapparel.com to find the option that's right for you. I can't wait to see you in there. Now, number 3, and I've been talking about this a lot, is your SKUs. I am not going to harp on this a ton because if you need to, you can go back to the last couple of podcast episodes where I've been talking about smart SKU numbers. And you want your SKUs to be able to indicate to you the product, the color, and the size. And this is really important so that as you are fulfilling orders and you're going to pull items out to ship them to your customers after they order them, you know that you're shipping them the right garment, the right size, and the right color that they ordered. If you don't have a SKU number or some sort of number indicating what that actually is, you are going to have trouble and you might be sending the wrong style or the wrong color or the wrong size out to your customer. And then you're going to have to deal with a ton of returns and a ton of exchanges, and you don't want to put yourself in that position. So those 3 top things we talked about quite a bit during the workshop: smart style numbers, smart naming structures, and smart SKUs. Now, we also dug into the back end of Shopify and we talked a little bit about descriptions. And again, I want you to go back and listen to our podcast episode on the anatomy of a product page. But one thing we really want to make sure that you're doing is putting in a description of your item that tells a little bit of a story. If you notice, people really, really cling to products or to items that they're going to buy if they feel connected to it in some way. And so for you to get that connection from them, for them to feel some sort of emotion or feel like they definitely want to buy this piece, I gotta have this piece, it can be really helpful to tell a little bit of a story in your description, not just like the basic technicalities of what's inside the garment, right? That can be a little bit boring. And just going that little extra mile by telling a story or describing it in a little bit of a romantic way can help boost your sales. Now, if you're looking for ways to tell a great story with a product, go ask AI. And I am a huge advocate for Gemini. Gemini is a great AI tool. You can actually get it for free still, I think, through Google. We pay for it because I love it. But go ask Gemini. Ask Gemini what it will say if you need it to tell a story about your product. I guarantee you it will help you out. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today is all of your different variants. So when you are in Shopify, the biggest thing that's going to help us pull the right reports, read the right data, is to make sure that all your different variants in there are listed properly. And if you downloaded our Smart SKU generator, and if you went to thebusinessofapparel.com/smart, you can still get it for free. If you downloaded it and you put certain things into the drop-down menus and you made sure that you listed your size small as SM, not S, then I want to make sure that you list your variant inside Shopify the same way. You want things to match up, right? You don't want to have data over here one way and completely different in a different space. You want it to all come together. You want it to make sense. You want it to be consistent. That's what we're trying to get for you right now by doing all of this back-end work. Consistency is going to lead to simplification. And when we have simplified our business and simplified what we do to make sure that our business runs smoothly, things start to just move faster, right? Because we're not worrying so much about, okay, I got to sit down for like 3 hours and figure out what these SKUs are before I even put them into Shopify. No, you know exactly what it is. You have a formula. You know exactly how it should be structured. All you have to do is put in your information and now copy and paste it straight into Shopify. We also did a little bit of a demo of where that is. It is tricky. It is tricky to find the right spot in the back end of Shopify if you have your own SKUs. Otherwise, Shopify will create its own version of a SKU for you, but it likely will not match up to what you want it to be. So there is a place where you can bulk edit and update all of your SKU information to make sure that it matches and that you can pull your reports the right way. Now, if you want all of the extra information and you want to dive in, we have actually turned that workshop into a masterclass that you can now get your hands on demand. Like you can access it literally right now. So if you go to thebusinessofapparel.com/masterclasses, that's where you can find all the different masterclasses that you can jump into with us at any time. There is no time delay. You don't have to wait for us to be live with you. You can jump straight in. Now, the key to this one is that we also paired it with a free option to get our SKU rationalization mini course. So if you've been wanting to learn about SKU rationalization and what to do with your data once you pull it out of Shopify and you're looking at a report, the process is basically called SKU rationalization. We are going to look for a logical, rational reason for every single SKU to exist in your line. That's what SKU rationalization is. And I have a mini course on it that has been a smaller part of the larger Business of Apparel course that we also have. So if you've been interested in learning a little bit about that, this Shopify Backend Cheat Code Masterclass also now houses a free version of the SKU rationalization mini course. So they come together. If you buy this masterclass, it comes with the SKU rationalization masterclass. So basically this masterclass is like $12. or something less even, I think. I don't know, math. So we really encourage you to go over. If you want to learn a little bit about how to optimize your Shopify backend and you didn't get the chance to join us, you still absolutely can. We are going to be doing this throughout the whole year. So we have 6 more free live workshops that we're going to be doing throughout the year. If you want to come join us live for free, that's the bonus, right? You being on our time is that we mean we give it to you for free. I have to wait until April 21st to be available to actually do this next workshop. So because you are waiting and you're being patient and you're being so kind and gracious to do that, I am very happy to welcome you for free. However, if you want to access something on demand on your own time, that's when we're going to then add it to our Masterclass library, and it will cost a little bit of money. So that's kind of how we're going to structure it as we move forward. Next year, we're talking about doing some intensives. We are no longer going to be doing free workshops. So if you want the option to come in and work with us for free, learn from us for free, get to know us a little bit for free, see if you like our teaching style, see if you like our team, this is the year to do it. Make sure that you are checking things out. You can go to thebusinessofapparel.com/events, and we have all of our items listed there. We either have registration buttons, we have waitlist buttons, or you can get on our email newsletter to make sure that you get the information as soon as it's available. So all of that is set up for you. We would love to see you in there. Please come join us for the next one. In April, we are going to be hosting a financial planning masterclass. Now, we are going to be teaching you how to go from $0 to $1 million with your brand for the very first time, or if you've already done it, how to get to your next $1 million. So we're going to be talking about that in April. If you are interested, please come visit our website, sign up and register now. I think it is ready to go for you. If not, there's a wait list attached to it. But we are working on getting that all set up as we speak. And we'll have some really fun giveaways for you guys. And we'll be going through it in detail. There'll be some co-working time. We're going to make sure you get the answers that you need and that you get the work done that you need to get done. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really enjoyed talking to you all about the back end of Shopify. We are going to be starting a new series though, talking all about finances, getting you ready for the April workshop as we move forward. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Business of Apparel podcast. I would so appreciate hearing your thoughts on the show. And if you know someone who could benefit from it, please share it with them. My biggest desire is to help other apparel professionals understand the nuances of our industry so we can all work toward making better product for a better world. If you would like to connect further, I'd love to invite you to send me a message through my website, thebusinessofapparel.com, where I do weekly trainings through my YouTube video channel, a weekly newsletter, blog articles, and so many more resources to help you start and scale a profitable apparel brand. This podcast is produced by Box 7 Media, who I cannot speak highly enough of. If you're looking to start your own podcast, you can reach out to Jeremy at Box 7 Media on LinkedIn anytime.